What's up, AI mad scientist? Funnel Doc here. In today's video, we're going to be going over everything that you need to know about voice AI and high level. Everything from how to set it up, what you need to know about prompting, and even how you can make it now. Soon will be coming scheduling an appointment. That's right. In today's video, I've got the behind the scenes of showing you exactly how it will actually schedule appointments for you coming in the near future. See you inside today's video. Okay, so to access voice AI, you're going to go down to your settings on the bottom left here. And then what you're going to do is go to your voice AI agents right here on the left. Now, you're going to see if this is your first time accessing it, you're going to see that will be nothing here. You won't have your different agents. You have a blue button in the middle and one up here that says create agent. Now, to create your first agent, you're going to click right here. And then you're going to notice that this page is going to pop up. Now, some of the different things you need to notice. Let's go ahead and start top to bottom here. First thing is your advanced settings. This is super important. A lot of times people have a problem where they're finding it's cutting off. All of a sudden the bot's cutting off, and I don't know why. Well, a lot of times the reason why is this is set normally to a 5-minute limit. So when you're doing your calls, a lot of times it's cutting off because you hit this 5-minute limit. So one of the things I do is I always just max it out. It can only go up to 15. You can see right here, 15. And then the next thing is your response for the agent, the AI agent, how quickly it responds. I usually set this at normal, maybe brisk in some instances. To be honest with you, have never used fast before. Normal and brisk has always been enough. Once you set that for 15, make sure you hit confirm on that so that it locks it in. Next thing we'll be talking about is the actual name of the bot and the name of the business. So you'll see right here, here's the agent name. Now, you can enter whatever you want to call the bot right here. It will also pull the name from the prompt as well. So, either one. Oh, okay. So right here, you're going to name your bot whatever you want it to be. So let's call this bot Bob. And then the business name, this is going to be if it's different than your sub account name. So if you want this to be something different, make sure you put it here. Next thing is going to be your language. Now, there are quite a few different ones. I have heard, to be honest with you, mixed reviews. Some people have said it's great. Some people said it's, just starting out, but will get better. Either way, just know that there are different languages available now. Please let me know in the comments what your experience is, especially if you're a native speaker to any of these. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how well these are working out right now. But this is something I know that's going to be improving in the future. It is in beta, so no, it's not perfect right now, but it will get better, and they're going to expand out a huge, huge library of different languages. Next thing's your voices. Now, there are quite a few voices. If you see here, I think there's something like 70 of them now. You're going to find that a lot of times, whatever voice you pick here and you hit play, you're going to find that the voice that it sounds like there quite often is not necessarily the voice that you hear when you call it up. So always test your voice. Another thing I've found so far is anyone with sort of like a accent. It can be a little hit or miss. So I would try some of the names, like I think it was Jennifer's good one. There's just try different ones, and see what you get. And you'll find they're going to get better and better over time. But the key is to find one that sounds natural. You don't want it to sound choppy or robotic or anything that's going to throw the caller off. Not that you're trying to fake that it's a human or anything like that. I highly recommend you don't do that. But it's still better for engagement when someone's talking and it sounds more natural than say, hello, I am a robot. You know what I mean? So anyway, next thing is your time zone. Now, this is going to be the time zone for the AI itself. So you can set this independently of whatever other settings you have throughout the system. And this is going to be the time zone the AI is going to be always setting it as its base time zone. Now, outbound calls are supposed to be coming soon. They are going to roll those out slowly just because they want to make sure it's not abused. Outbound has the highest chance for spam and cold call and all types of stuff that's not good practices. That's one reason why it hasn't came out yet. But you can, of course, do inbound calls, which are amazing. Next thing is your initial message. You do have up to 190 characters to be able to put in this message. One of the things to keep in mind are custom values don't work in the message. Something else I also found that if you put a person's name in the initial message, sometimes the AI will pick that up as the caller's first name. That was a bug they had. They might have fixed it. I haven't tested it lately. That's just something to keep an eye out for, that if you put it in there, you might notice that it's populating the caller's first name with that first name because the AI is just looking for a first name, unless they change it, like I said. But that was something that was happening before. Normally, this initial message, I highly recommend that you make this some type of a question or something that's going to move the conversation forward. If you make it a statement or anything that doesn't have a way for the caller to feel like they need to respond or reply to it, sometimes they won't, and it can create dead air and it can really mess up the conversation flow. So, really, at this beginning one, I would think it would just be something that's an engagement statement or say a sentence that's going to get the caller to reply, like, how can I help you today? Or are you ready to start? Would you like to learn more? Anything that's going to get them to say something, because that will trigger the next step in the AI, and then the prompt and everything can take over from there. So once you've got all this set up, the next thing you're going to do is hit this little next button down at the bottom. And then you're going to come to this page. Now, you have what's called basic mode, which is what you see here. And then you can turn this on, name, email, address, and then contacts issue. And what happens now is the AI will come in and search for these. It will ask the contact their name, their email, their address, and what their problem is. This is great that if you want to use the AI for more like customer support or some basic, FAQ type bot, and you don't want to put a lot of time, effort, or energy into it, or don't want to learn about AI, which I highly recommend you should. You should definitely learn about AI. But if you don't, this is something you can do to get it up and running real quick. All you do is you turn these bad boys on. You're going to see there is a field that you can't turn off or on, and add call summary as a note to the contact, which is great now that it automatically, whatever the summary is, will be added to that contact as a note underneath them. So know that you can check notes and always see the summaries. Next thing we'll be looking at is triggered workflow, and you can have as many trigger workflows trigger as you want. And what this does is it just basically drops them in that workflow, and the workflow starts. So keep in mind, if you have a bunch of workflows that are sending a lot of emails or SMSs or different engagement at the person, the last thing you want to do is have a bunch of them fire off at the same time, and all of a sudden the person's like, oh, I'm being inundated with messages and stuff. So think about the user experience. What do you want that user to have happen to them when the call ends? And that's what you want to have here for workflows that trigger. You can also delete them here, just as you see here, by hitting the little X, show right here, and then turn it off. Next thing is receiving a notification for the post call completion. This is going to be a summary of the call, transcription, information about them, etc. And you want who can receive this. Now you can turn it off and then no one will receive it. And sometimes you might want that, especially if you're doing specialized summaries and stuff. Like that's one of the things we like do in our bot builds, is we'll have it do transcriptions and stuff and then save that. And you might not want that specific information going out to the caller, or you might. It's really up to your case study and your use. But if you do, you'll click that on, and then you have the ability to send to all users, which all users is basically all your team. Everybody that's part of the team is a user, and then contacts assigned user is the person that's been assigned to them for your team, obviously. So you can see you come in. And then if it was the person was assigned to someone, that person's going to get the notification. And then you can have specific users. You come in, select any of your team that's in here. Again, that's going to be the same thing. If I select all of it, then all my team's going to get that. And then custom email, I'd come in here and put any or any of my own emails or anything I want, if I want to send directly to like a personal email or something like that. So those are the basic features right there for email notification. Again, you turn that on. This is the very basic layout of the voice AI. I recommend going to advanced mode. Click this little button you see right here. Once you click the advanced mode, you can't go back once you've saved it. You can switch back and forth. You see, I can switch back and forth, but I haven't saved anything yet to lock it in. So if I go to advanced mode and I start doing trigger workflows and I save it, then it's going to lock that in. Now, you do have up to 3,000 words to be able to use for your prompt. And then you'll see that I'm going to have a video coming out probably not tomorrow, but the next day, all about how to build your prompt out. I'm going to show you everything you need to know, how to structure it, how to outline it. Keep your eyes open, especially if you love voice AI, for my prompt video that's going to be coming out in the next couple of days, where I'm going to show you how to do all this. I'm going to show you all the different steps. I think it'd be easier to keep that any video itself than spend another 30 minutes or 20 minutes or how long it takes in the middle of this one. But just know this is where you're going to put your prompt. Think of your prompt as like your brains or your instructions for the AI. The other cool thing you can do now is you can add custom values and fields, and you can go pretty deep. You can see here, you can put payment link, contact port, you can put a whole bunch of stuff in here. And the cool thing is you can make the AI dynamic now. So one of the things that you could do is you could be like, oh, check to see if the contact email is there, and you see here contact email, and then the way, and we'll talk about prompts when we get in this in the next video, but one of the things you could do is like, if this field is empty, ask for their email. If it's not, go on to the next thing. You can actually, or you could have it to where it could, and we'll talk about this in a minute, you'll update a contact field. Again, we'll talk about it down here. Update the contact field. Because of that, it triggers a workflow. That workflow does numbers or math that updates to a new contact field, and then that contact field, the AI recognizes it and now spits out a number, just like it did some fancy math equation. Now you can make it do math, but to be safe and consistent, I would always have it doing a workflow just to be safe, because every once in a while it can get off or off track, and I just find it easier to make that part of your workflow than necessarily trying to make it maybe part of your prompt. And we'll talk about prompts more, like I said, when we get in the other video. But with that being said, let's jump on next thing. Now, call transfer. One of the cool things you can do is you can make like a network of voice AI where you could go. Now, you have to get a new phone number for each one. Each voice AI has to have its own separate phone number. You can't stack them, unfortunately. But you could have one that's like your primary, which could be like your receptionist, or your distribution bot, or main bot that's going to answer like FAQ stuff, basic product questions, basic customer support type stuff. Or I would keep that just as a direction bot, because then you get another line, you can have a bot that's specific for customer support. That's why I said not the first one, but customer support, sales, technical, whatever it is, you can have voice AI that's going to be specialized. And that's when we know, as well as you've seen in my other videos, the chat and voice bots, pretty much AI specific agent type things, do best when you can give them a singular task. And when you try and stack a whole bunch of stuff, that's when they start to stray and come back and forth. So that's why it'd be so important to have a specific bot for each different, specialty sales, or, like product technical or customer support, that type of stuff. But you could do that. You just need to get each line. And then what you do is you just name the action. So this could be transfer to sales. We go transfer to sales. Boom. And then you're going to come in here, and then to be whatever number you want it to be. So it'd be 555 there we go. We'll just use that as a placeholder. Now, when should the call transfer take place? So in this one would be like when the caller demonstrates that they want to speak to a sales representative, or the caller shows that they moved to a hot lead status and are very ready to buy and want to talk to someone now. Something like that. You just want to put some basic sentence that, like this says, clearly defines the situation and scenario when you want the call to take place. When do you want it to happen, and why do you want it to happen? That type of thing. And the cool thing about this too, in other words, I'll talk about this, you can almost think about these as mini prompts. You see here, you have 500 characters here to be able to use. So sometimes you might want to use it. When we get in the update contact fields in a minute, I'm going to show you a couple of different things where you can make it so it's really, really cool. So, and then the last thing here is what the AI is going to say before the call transfer happens. So, hey, 1 second, I'm going to transfer you to our sales department. 1 second, I'm going to transfer you to customer service. Cool. If it's a person, I always recommend with all your AIs, one of the things, no matter what, have a call transfer to a human. That way, if people get upset, they're freaking out, they need to speak to someone now, it's an emergency situation, whatever it is, there should be a bit of availability to always speak to humans. So no matter what with your AI, always have at least one call transfer to some human or next level up. Even for my customer support AI that I'm making, AI, there's the basic AI level, and then it escalates to the more advanced, really focused AI. But even above that, there's always human support. So just always have customer support or at least a safety line for someone where they can talk to a person so they feel like they've been heard. Because that if your AI is for some reason messing up or someone feels they need to speak to someone now, the biggest or worst thing you can do is not allow them to speak to a person. So that is call transfer. A lot of possibility in there, but just know you do need a separate line for each one of them. So so yeah, this workflow trigger, and these are going to be, like I said before, workflows that cannot be triggered multiple. You just need one singular workflow that we're triggering right now, and it just fires it off for you. So it could be a number of different stuff. One of the things we used before, and you still want to use this if you have multiple calendars, is you can send a text message. So you can have it set up that's going to send out a text message and then allow like chat AI that can book the appointment to be able to book it there. Now, I'm going to show you at the end of this, I have the ability now, I have beta access to the voice AI's appointment features, and I'm going to show you how that all works. But to let you know, you can still do, like I said, chat, or maybe you want to send a payment link, or any number of different workflow actions you want to fire, you can send them off here. So let's say that this one is like a payment link. So we come in here, we label payment link. I don't know. I think I have a payment link. Yeah, we go. Invoice payment notification. We'll say that's the one. And then when you know to trigger the workflow, just like before, it's the define a situation scenario. So when there's something would be like when the user is ready to make a payment, when the user decides they want to join, something that's going to be along those lines to let the AI know that, hey, this person needs to pay. I need to send them this payment link. And then the next thing you're going to have again is what to say when the workflow is triggered. So in this example, it would be like, hey, I just sent you a text message with the payment link. Let me know when you got it. Boom. And you can do up to, I'd have to check, it's either 15 or 25. I believe it's 15. It might be 25. I'll have to double check, but at least 15 of each of these can be triggered. That's one of the cool things. They did up all these now to at least 15, except for appointment booking. You can only do one on those. I'll show you that in a second. So next is the update contact field. Now this one's really cool because you can use this, especially in the update field, almost like a prompt. So let's say that we wanted a summary of the call. So we come in here. Now you would have to make, of course, a field called call summary. I believe I have one in here, call summary. There we go. Or call transcript you can have, which a transcript is going to be word for word, but a summary is going to be the AI will review the entire call, break it all down, and then give you a summary of the call rather than word for word, where a transcript would be like, AI said this, caller said this, AI said this, caller said this, etc. And then when to update the field, just like before for this. Now, the way that you do this, so it's more like a prompt, it's not super prompt, but you'd say something like, at the end of the call, give me a complete summary of the call, the detailed, and you can break it down, like if you want special stuff highlighted, or the way you want it formatted, or you wanted to note certain stuff, just tell it what, in natural language, just like you would talk to someone else. Like if I was talking now, I'd be like, hey, thanks for watching. Do me a favor at the end of this video, give me a summary of it and let me know in detail what exactly is about and what are the important things that I need to know. Something simple like that you can put in there, and then at the end of the call, it will update the call summary just like that. Now, of course, just like I always say, your first prompt is never your last prompt. That fits in here, of course, too. Very rarely you're going to name it be able to fill it out, and it's going to give you the exact output you want. Sometimes it will, sometimes, but I'd say it's probably 50-50. So just be aware that you're going to need to be aware of that, and make sure that you know you do have up to 500 characters for that. The next thing for any of these is important: override existing contact field. So if you want to be able to update it every time they go through it or talk to it, you're going to click this. If it's a one-time thing that you just want to get their information, you don't want them to update it. So if they go through it again, it's still static and stays the same, then you wouldn't click on this, of course. And the next thing is you want to give examples. So if this one, if I want to call summary, I could type in here example of a call summary. Oh, this call was about so and such, or however you want it to be framed or structured. A lot of times, that's what you want to put in here. If you want the date to be displayed a certain way, put it in here. If you want certain formatting, put it in here. If you have different examples, for instance, in some of the stuff we've been like hot lead, cold lead, etc., I'll put hot lead in the definition in there, or cold lead in the definition, or something like that. But that's really what you want examples in here. You can do up to 5 of them. I usually do about 2 to 3, but I always like to give examples. That way you can educate the AI, because if not, you're just leaving it up to choice on what your field is here and how you decided to describe it versus what's in the example. So again, very, very powerful. Use it for transcripts, summaries, so many stuff. So, at the end, I'll have it, hey, these are 5 different types, like lead, demoed the AI, scheduled an appointment, bot, or lost lead. And I'll say, hey, at the end of the call, determine which of these categories the caller falls under, and I'll give them each of the category with a brief description in there, as long as it's underneath the 500 characters. Sometimes I'll use the examples as a description. So I'd be like lead, and I'll give a little description. Example, demoed, watched tried the AI out, scheduled the AI impact assessment. So that's what I'll put for the example sometimes, to help cut down on this, to make sure I'm not going heavy into the actual update field. But those are just some of the few examples. You can do so much with this stuff now. And the cool thing is, realize again, because these are these are contact fields, you can always pull that information now underneath this contact. So you just come down here to custom fields, and they'll all be right here. So you can really create like a dynamic processes. As the AI pulls in information, it will update these contact fields. But then when the contact fields update, you can trigger another workflow to make stuff happen because of that update. Or that update contact field can now be part of the prompt that's now updated, that now it pulls that information in, and it's able to use it in a new and exciting way. The next is send SMS. This is just a text message, pretty standard here. Do realize that even though you can have up to 1,600 characters, it says right here, a segment is what they call it in the text message world, 160 characters. If you go over 160, it creates a new segment, even if it's just one character over. And the way they figured out, I don't know the exact math, look it up, but the way they figured out, more segments are more expensive. So just realize, even though you have the ability to do 1,600 characters, don't do it unless you plan to have it. Could get expensive really fast. And emojis cost more too. That's something to be aware of in your text messages, that emojis take up more character space than regular characters. So if you want to send them a text message, whatever it is, it could be, you want to say thanks for calling or something. I don't know. There's multiple different reasons you could want to send a text message. And you have the ability to use templates in here if you have some. You would come in this one, maybe this one's in call, thank you, or whatever you want to use it for text message. You then put the message in here. Again, keep in mind the 160 character limit for it to be a segment. You can totally go over it, but just keep in mind, if you go too crazy, it can add up, especially if you're sending out a mass text message to 10,000 people or something like that. When should the SMS take place? Just like before, what is the scenario? When and how do you want it to take place? Put it in there. And then the last one, what is the AI going to say before sending the message? Hey, I just sent you that message about, well, this it wouldn't be, because it'd be at the end of the call, but, in that example, but what you wanted. Hey, I just wanted to say goodbye and sent you a message saying it or something, or whatever. To be honest with you, I don't use send SMS that much because most of the time, if I'm going to send an SMS, I trigger a workflow. But if I had just one unique SMS, I could probably send this. Or you can also use this as a way to do what I call like a connector message so that if you have reply so and so, one of the cool things you can do is you could say customer replied as a trigger in a workflow, and then you could say replied AI support, something like that. And then you could have it send out a text, a SMS, hey, reply AI support when you're ready to start talking to support or whatever. And then that connector message, because they would type to it AI support, the workflow would then recognize it and that would trigger that workflow. And then now a whole new specialized conversation to start. Maybe that's one way you're doing it. I don't know. To be honest with you, don't use SMS that much. I use update contact field a bunch. I use trigger workflow a bunch, and I use appointment booking a bunch. Well, not a bunch, but just I'm going to show you a demo too. I'm going to demo this calendar out and show you how it works, so you'll be able to hear in just a second. Now, before we get to that, let's go over the bottom ones here. They are just the same as before, so just know you've got your trigger workflow and your notification. So appointment booking, it is a skateboard right now. Just remember that they go skateboard, bicycle, motorcycle, car. So, boom, skateboard. Now, what you'll do is you'll come in here and you'll pick your appointment. So let's go with AI impact assessment, number of days offering. So these are the number of consecutive days out. So that means if today is Friday and you're not available, it'd be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you'd be able to do it or whatever. It only does 3 days out away from you. I'm not sure, to be honest, how it factors in the weekend. Those are days off, but these are the amount of consecutive days in a row that can do. It can only go up to three for some reason now. One or two is just silly or ridiculous. But the cool thing is this way it creates urgency because you can only go 3 days out. And for most sales appointments, that's what you're going to want. Anyway, appointment slots per day. This is the maximum number of slots that the AI can offer each day. So that means, like, think about it this way. It'd be like, oh, 1, 2, and 3. If you wanted to only offer 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, you'd make it two slots. If you wanted to offer one, it would offer one. So it would be like this. So this would be like, oh, hey, would you like it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? And then what time? It would be like, oh, we have 1 o'clock available. Or this one, it's going to be like, oh, we have 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock available. And then down below it, this is the hours between it. So if you wanted to say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, you turn it down to one. If you wanted to say 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock, it'd be 2 hours, 2 hour slots. It's not the best system yet, but I know it's going to get way better. So we'll just turn it down here. I always would probably max these two out and then do 1 hour in between. So like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So we're going to save this now. Now, please bear with me because this is my AI that sells itself bot that's set up that I've got this hook up to. So we can't skip past the intro. So just bear with it. As soon as we get to the role play part, I can skip it and we'll go to booking appointment after that. And you'll be able to see exactly how it works. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into this bad boy.
Hi, I'm from Funnel.ai. AI. Today, I'll demonstrate how I can act as a customized voice AI agent for your business. First, I'll ask a few questions about your business. Ready to start?
Yes.
Great. To start, may I know your name?
Bob Smith.
Thank you, Bob. What's the best email to send you a recap of this demo and any details you might need afterward?
bobsmith@gmail.com.
Thanks, Bob. Now, what's the name of your business?
Bob's Big Apples.
Awesome. Can you tell me more about Bob's Big Apples? For example, what industry are you in, and who are your primary customers?
We're in the apple orchard industry, and our primary customers are people who like big apples.
Got it. So what types of customer interactions do you handle most often? For instance, booking appointments, answering inquiries, or managing support issues?
Inquiries about our big apples and booking appointments. Just come see our orchard.
Sounds like a fun business. What tone and style would you like me to use when interacting with your customers? Friendly, formal, or casual?
I want you to act like a super excited pirate, or no, act like a super excited cowboy that says yeehaw all the time.
Yeehaw. A super excited cowboy it is. Now, what's the biggest roadblock you're experiencing with your business right now?
Getting more leads.
Gotcha. More leads are always a good thing. Are there any specific scenarios or challenges you'd like me to demonstrate during the role play?
No, just booking an appointment's fine.
Yeehaw. Thanks for sharing all that, Bob.
So I'll
Based
end
on what
this
you've
real
told me
quick.
about
I
Bob's
just have
Big
to get through
Apple,
that or it won't
I'll
let
now
me.
act as your voice AI assistant. Let's see how I'd interact with your customers. Howdy there. Thank you for calling Bob's Big Apples. This is your voice AI assistant, ready to help y'all out. How can I assist you today?
Yeah, I was curious about your big apples.
Yeehaw. Our Big Apples are the talk of the orchard. Would you like to book a visit to see them in person? I can help set up an appointment for you.
Skip role play.
Yeehaw. That wraps up the role play demonstration. Now, let's talk about how this can help you today. What stood out to you the most during the demo?
You know what? I loved it a lot, but I'd love to schedule an AI impact assessment.
Yeehaw. Let's get that AI impact assessment scheduled for you. How about we look at some available slots? What works for you? Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week?
Let's go with Thursday.
Perfect. For Thursday, we have slots at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and 11 a.m. Which one suits you best?
What date is that, by the way?
That would be Thursday, March 20th. Which time slot works best for you? 9 a.m., 10 a.m., or 11 a.m.?
Do you have anything in the afternoon?
Let me check for available afternoon slots on Thursday, March 20th. Yeehaw. We've got afternoon slots available at 12 p.m., 1 p.m., and 2 p.m. on Thursday, March 20th. Which one would you like to book?
Let's go 2 p.m. What time zone is this, by the way?
This is in the America/Los_Angeles time zone. Is that correct for you?
Yeah, that's good for me.
Yeehaw. Booking your AI impact assessment for Thursday, March 20th at 2 p.m. Please wait a moment while I book your meeting. Yeehaw. Your
So I just got a confirmation via the app saying that it was scheduled. So that's why I ended it because I really just want to show you the point of booking. Now, if we go back and we look at calendars and we go to the 29th, there we are right there at 2 p.m. Bob G's. I don't know why they call me Bob G, but this is the AI impact that was just scheduled at 2 p.m. on the 20th. So there we go. That's how the AI impact works, or how the AI scheduling works. The last thing we're going to cover here, we'll jump on in, is the actual phone and availability. Now, this is where you're going to have your phone number. You're going to assign your number here. If you don't have one, you have the ability to buy one here. You can also sign up for unlimited AI employee plan. Now, for voice, it is, I want to say 13 cents a minute. If you start going over $100, I would recommend getting the unlimited plan. It makes it totally free. You still have other charges, mind you. If you're sending, your regular call time, whatever you'd call if you're doing regular phone numbers, there is still charges for that. So just keep in mind that there are other potential charges. If you're doing text, it's 2 cents per text. Again, that becomes unlimited with the voice AI or with the AI employee plan. So I'd look into it. I do have a link down below if you'd like to maybe click on that, help me out. That's my affiliate link for this. Thank you very much. But the AI employee plan is down there and you can sign up for that. That does give you unlimited AI for, for voice, for chat, for, the AI like creations and emails and all that different stuff. You get a bunch unlimited. So check that out. Again, you can buy your number here. Now, you will want to have this clicked on, enable AI agent as backup to the phone number. AI agent will answer the call if the user or call forwarding number doesn't respond. I like to always have that on. Next thing is setting the hours for the agent. So if you want the agent to turn on at say 5 p.m. and then turn off at like 8 a.m. the next day, you'd want to come in here, turn it on for Monday. You'd set it for 5 p.m. and then you'd have it turn off. Now you can only go till 11:55. If I could technically, I can't go unfortunately for the next one, like I couldn't go AM. It's really like I can't go. You can only go to the end of the day for each one of these, which is one of the problems in it. So I go to 11:55 p.m., but there is a 5 minute gap, and I could do another split. So if I wanted to split the shift, I could come in here and then pick this up at like noon till whenever, um, to be able to cover it. So we come in here and say like 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. if they wanted that to be the time when it would turn back on. So there you go. So there would be the shift for that. But just know this would be weird. I wouldn't put it in there like that. I would come in and put in for Tuesday and make this for midnight, and this for 8 a.m. would be the way I do it. But you can do a split shift if you want to. You can do that. If you want to copy it to all of them, you just hit this little copy button, and then you just come in and click what days you want it to copy to, hit apply, and you'll see it'll apply to those days. If you want to delete it, you can just delete them, etc. Once you're good, you hit save. It'll save it all, turn it off. You can also demo it. So if you want to demo your AI, you can have your AI, once you've got your number call, you can put your number in here. The AI will actually call you, and it'll keep a call log of each different call. And each one you can see in here, you can also fine tune it. I highly recommend clicking the up or down arrow, especially when it does really good or really bad, because this is going to help to actually train the AI. You can also see there's a transcript here of exactly what was said. You come in now. If you have the ability to turn on, there'll be recordings. Usually not here. It's usually in the actual conversation tab where you'll see where emails and everything. You'll see a little play button that you can, when you have the record feature on. If you need to turn that on, you do need to go to your actual phone settings to do that. And then you'll see here's a summary of what's going on for the actual call itself. What you also have the ability, this is new for dashboard and logs. This is great. It breaks down, total calls, how many actions were triggered, how well the engagement is with the bot overall. You can set a filter on it. Then you come down here, total amount of duration, average call. Now, the next thing you see down here is really important. The duration, actions triggered. You can actually see a summary of the call. And the cool thing is you'll see here, one of the trigger was, hey, I want to make it have a call summary. And this is the call summary that it gave out, as well as the phone number, etc. The next thing, you can view the actual transcript of it. You can then come right here, and if you have the call recording and in the recording on, you might be able to hear it from there, as well as the trigger the thumbs up and down to be able to let the AI know if it's doing a good job. Now, if you do give it a thumbs down, it'll have a little pop-up, and then you can put in there what you would like it to be, what the problem is, and the AI will take that into account. So this is very important. Really recommend that you check this out and you start using this. This is great, like I said, for checking out the summaries, viewing transcripts, things like that. With that, that is everything you need to know about voice AI. I'm going to have another tutorial coming up real soon where I'm going to show you how to actually lock your voice AI with a password and have it so voice AI will recognize you every time you come back or one of your clients come back. It will know everything about you, whether you're a returning client or if you're a new client, it will know how to recognize you as that too. So thanks so much for watching this video, AI Mad Scientist. I'm the Funnel Doc, and I'm out of here. Peace.